What's up and welcome to FPL Today. I'm your host JNO, welcome to the channel and welcome to my team, where I look back at how my team did in the last game week and how I'm planning to move on in the Fantasy Premier League. And this episode is brought to you today by Fantasy Football Magazine, the only monthly subscription fantasy football magazine that can be sent to your door every month with some of the best tips from some of the best experts. Check out the link in the description. So on with the video, and we're back to normal programming. I hope you enjoyed my little attempt at humour with the last video if you watched it, and we'll move on. We don't need to talk about that too much. Let's talk about the transfers that I made going into game week 9. And once again, I didn't make any transfers. What happened is I had a wedding Friday night, I had work before the wedding, and I forgot to make my transfers. That's what happens when you leave it till the last minute to make your transfers. Sometimes life just gets in the way and you forget. So unfortunately no transfers made by me, but it didn't go too badly. That's because some of my top performers really performed for me, or strictly speaking, one of my top performers performed for me, and that was Harry Kane, who managed to get 2 goals and 1 assist, getting himself 3 bonus points, 16 points in total, and I captained him, which was a stroke of luck because I was planning on captaining Gabriel Jesus. However, because I didn't change my team at all, Harry Kane was still my captain, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. The other 2 top performers were Mohamed Salah, who did manage to get a goal in that Tottenham game, probably one of the few players from the Liverpool side to come out with something, and Rob Elliott also getting me 7 points with a clean sheet and 1 bonus point in his game as well. So looking at my overall team and how they did, there's some glaring issues with the side. Gabriel Jesus didn't start, neither did Sterling, and I don't believe Nias did either. However, Nias came on and did manage to get some points, which is a benefit to me. However, I do believe Nias needs to be moved on. Jesus and Sterling are rotation risks, and Carroll and Eriksen didn't do much for me at all. Ben Davies didn't start as well, and Mbemba didn't start, so that's a lot of players I've got in my side right now who aren't starters in guaranteed first team football. That means none of my defence actually returned anything of significance apart from Elliott and Foster, who got 3 points. But that is a real glaring issue with my side at the moment. I'm being carried by 1 or 2 players every game week, and I'd much prefer to see a bunch of players scoring all over the place. So there is some work I need to do on this side. So the team I'm planning on starting for game week 10, and it's a bit of a mess because, to be honest, I've got Elliott in goal against Burnley. I think that could be an okay fixture, but Burnley do play quite well at home. And then I've got me, so if that's a high scoring game, I'm losing points with both of those players. Alonso, I feel like he needs to go. He's coming up against Bournemouth though, which is a good fixture, but Alonso really isn't returning the points as regularly as I need him to be at his expensive price tag. Ben Davies is now no longer a certainty to start, and then Mbemba isn't starting anyway, so glaring holes in my defence. Norton, who is on my bench and is probably guaranteed to start, is coming up against an Arsenal side that did rather well over the weekend. Then we've got Eriksen, Salah and Sterling. I feel like Eriksen and Salah are just about doing enough to keep their places. However, Sterling is not a certain starter, so he may need to be transferred out. And then if we actually look at my forwards, Nias needs to go and Gabriel Jesus is a rotation risk, so I am thinking of changing him back to Morata. There's so many moves I need to make and only 2 transfers that I've got that it's going to be a difficult choice. So the potential transfers I'm thinking of doing, and we're looking at defence first, and there's 2 standout options from the Man City side for me. There's Otamendi coming at 5.8 million. He's managed to get 6 clean sheets, 2 goals from 12 attempts on goal, and he has a chance every 65.9 minutes, which isn't bad for a defender. And then there's Kyle Walker as well, 6.6 million. He could be a replacement for Alonso. He's also got the same amount of clean sheets and he's got 3 assists. So those 2 are the Man City options that are standing out to me. And then we've got Shane Duffy there in the middle, 4 clean sheets so far, and Brighton seem to have a good fixture list coming up. He's also had 8 attempts on goal and has had a chance every 99.1 minutes. So those are the 3 defenders I'm looking at to replace the likes of Ben Davies and Marcus Alonso. And then moving on to the midfield, and we're looking at 3 standout midfield options at the moment. I feel like I need to pull the trigger on Richarlison, and he probably would have been my transfer going into game week 9, and that would have been good for me because he did get points that game week. Richarlison at 6.3 million now has had 3 goals and 4 assists out of 9 games, which is a great return for that 6.3 million price tag. He's had 32 attempts on goal, and he's had a chance every 23.5 minutes. And then we've got David Silva as well, 8.6 million, a more nailed on starter for Man City, which is very important to me right now. He's managed to get 1 goal and 6 assists. He's managed to create 26 chances and creates a chance every 30 minutes. And then Pascal Gross, again, Brighton's fixtures look pretty good. He's got 2 goals and 4 assists. He's created 20 chances for his teammates and he creates a chance every 38 minutes. So those are the standout options in midfield. As far as forwards go, I've not done a graphic, but Morata is the standout option for me to replace Gabriel Jesus. Lacazette is kind of going into consideration, but it looks like the points will be shared around that Arsenal side. So Morata looks like my second choice striker after Kane, and then Nias needs to go, and you're looking at the likes of Tammy Abraham and maybe a cheeky look at Brighton's forward, but that will be saved for what we learned for game week 10. Speaking of that video should hopefully come out Wednesday. It's later than usual, but I didn't have time over the weekend unfortunately to record it because I haven't watched the games yet. So I need to watch the games before I do what we learned, because I like to know what happened in the games to be able to talk about them in what we learned. I feel like what we learned has a bit more detail about what happened in game and how players performed, as well as points and statistics. So that is why what we learned is going to be late this week, so apologies for that. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always to this video. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm going to set a like target, so if you've watched this far, please like the video. Let's try and hit over 100 likes because we need the help considering who we're going against if you watch the other video. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game. And sorry my face is so bright, but it's night time and that light is very bright at night.